So today we're going to talk about the magic of water. We're very excited, Rachel and I. And if you haven't met Rachel before, she's actually sitting in front of an amazing painting. So tell us a little bit about what's going on, Rachel.
So, thank you, honey.
Thank you.
I'm literally I'm on a journey at the moment. I'm having a blast, and it's fascinating. It's so wonderful to come and meet people that know a lot more than we do. And I think there is something in water. I mean, water is so magical, but it's way more than we understand it to be. And there's a feeling, and we can inject so much into water. It's ahead of us. It is literally ahead of us. I was watching a podcast by it was Pam Gregory, who does the astrology stuff, and she was interviewing this lady who was channeling Archangel Michael, and she'd asked, how important is water in the way in which we're progressing through this world, and she said that water is going to be the fastest way for us to raise our consciousness because it's actually literally it's ahead of us at the moment. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is music to my ears, to my heart. This is the joy because the meek shall inherit the earth, and I say that, but it's a beautiful thing because when we understand our true beauty and the joy in this world, yes, there's lots of suffering and it's, there's a way to transmute these things and the pollution in this world, and that's the biggest subject really, is the pollution side of it. But so this is a painting to restructure water, and it was commissioned and created. The artist is a chap called Mark Golding. So, but yeah, so Mark Golding essentially painted this, but they did this together. So this is a friend of mine called Matt, um,
Well,
and so uh, now he measured it. He's quite now it's beautiful because he comes from the heart, but he's also very scientific as well. So he measured it with a Sputnik device. I just
so funny.
it reminds me of the word Dingsbumps. So Dingsbumps in German means thingamajig. It's just my favorite German word. But yeah, Sputnik. So the Sputnik measuring device. So it measures the energy of the space. And then he separately did it to water as well. So it's before, during, and after the painting is added to the location, to the space. So the water has the measuring device, and it measures the light, which is the photonic light within the water and the photonic light within the atmosphere. So it draws in more light. Like there's a in biodynamics, there's a plant called the light root. And my friend created a tincture actually from this light root, and it has the largest amount of light in it. So really good for
Wow.
women for estrogen as well to yeah. But it's high in estrogen. So I don't know why I've written that. Anyway, but it's designed to change the structure of water. And he's a water sommelier. I'm learning all these words. He's a water sommelier cosmologist. So, but it's just fascinating to understand, the way in which we can change. I suppose to a certain extent, we're kind of in the rubble. We're trying to find ourselves through the rubble. I know it sounds pretty mean, but it is kind of, we're like in the Stone Ages of where we should be really. And all the technology that we used is completely obsolete, completely obsolete. We're way ahead of this, but we just live. But it's also beautiful because I suppose, we appreciate all the little things in life, and it's the miracles of each moment and how we come together, how we join things. What do you think of the painting? I'd love to hear your
I
thoughts.
love it. I love the painting. Um, it's very mathematical and beautiful.
Yeah.
And it looks like it took a long time to create that middle part. I mean, as an artist, I'm like cringing because I want to do everything fast. So
Yeah.
it looks really amazing and beautiful. And I think the whole thing about water is the representation of consciousness,
Mm,
not only on Earth, but it is the consciousness. We live in the waters of the universe, you know. So the body of God is made of plasma, made of water. And, you know, we have different iterations of water, different thicknesses, different, densities and stuff. But when you come down to it, it's all about consciousness. And I think it's beautiful, really. And
yeah.
working with it, I think is an amazing idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a really interesting idea about pollution and
Mhm.
how we've understood it to be. So he said 50% of scientists, they want to help humanity, and there's this exploration of how do we better our lives? How do we better each other? But 50% of people who are scientists, if they're any good, they will just literally be snapped up by the military to create weapons of mass destruction. And that's where we've been, basically. So it
Where we
doesn't, yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that's where we're going, but that's where we've come from. And that's why I say the rubble, because, humanity has been hijacked. There's this big, wide open door, there's in the same verse as the meek shall inherit the earth in the Bible. I'm not religious, but I grew up with very, very religious parents. But I think the teachings from Jesus are beautiful. And he's talking about a gate being very wide open. And that's the easy path. And people go down that path because the money is there. There's the 2.5 children. There's the way in which we understand, love and making love, and the creation aspect of it is derogatory. It's not appreciated in its divinity. There's so many aspects along those lines, but the pollution side of things and how we use water and appreciate it is so different, which is why I started creating like because I'm helping to fund these projects and it's all gonna kick off next month, which I'm so excited. But I could see that there is this issue with the funding side of things and I felt, there's and even just talking to some people, but people don't understand how to create project plans or financial spreadsheets. And, if you've gone down the spiritual route, you're not going to be versed in those things. So I thought, well, I know what I want as an investor, as somebody who would be loaning the money out. I know what I'm looking for. So why don't I start creating templates? So I started creating a water template. And and you can see by the accuracy of this thing, yeah. So I sent him this document, and he was like, "No, no, no, it's because water isn't the central focal point." And I was thinking, what is that? Because I called it the Water Initiative, but he didn't really understand it from my perspective because it wasn't using his wording and his I don't know. He's got a different way of looking at things, and which is beautiful, and I love that. So he's rewritten the document whilst I've been here, and we've kind of been reviewing the lit, which is the live-in truth aspect of all of this, in terms of kind of how do we better humanity? How do we springboard to the next, evolution and raise this consciousness? So for me, it's a no-brainer. Yes, we need to create schools, and so I started creating a SEND school um, template, and then I started with the water project. But the water will increase the consciousness. So there were 5,000 fountains deployed around London that they were created to raise the consciousness in London. Now, what's happened to all those fountains? What's happened to all the rivers? They've all disappeared, not all of them, but a very, very large majority of them. And then the history books have been scrubbed. But do you have any like water fountains or anything around you? I feel like I'm doing all the talking.
No, but I will say, like, the best thing to do is to get into water.
Yeah.
to raise your own consciousness. And the ocean is the best, if you can.
Yeah.
And if not, you know, try and be around a body of water or even think about it while you're in the shower, raising your consciousness. And it really does help. Water is like an amazing conductor.
Mm.
And I just absolutely, love it. I don't feel like we've understood water very well
No.
until recently. And we're still going to understand more and more and more about it. But it is a living thing. And I
Mm.
think a lot of us, we haven't until recently realized that, this is a living thing.
Yeah.
There's consciousness within it. Every single thing around you has consciousness.
Yeah.
And even your computer has consciousness because you created it. You brought it into being and you're always touching it and basically giving it energy. So every single thing around you has consciousness. That's why someone who is like a hoarder feels so heavy, you know? But I just think it's beautiful that this is kicking off because water is so important and we haven't understood it. We haven't understood how to drink it until more recently,
Yeah.
that it
Yeah.
should be structured and yeah. So
You
I'm
see.
excited about this. I think it's great.
Yeah, and even the shower head here, it's got a gold shower head. It's got something in it. It costs like these things. I mean, it's ridiculous. And this is I think the problem with money and these things. And it's about £2,500 just for this shower head because it's got this gold thing in it and it does X, Y. Goodness knows, but it's lovely. It's really, it's really nice. And actually, a friend of mine when she has this and it was actually the reason why I created the Send School template for the projects for Send Schools because she has well she adopted a 4-year-old basically who had gone through the most awful atrocities, abuse and all the rest of it. And she's now 8 years old, but she's fought for her. She's got 6 children, so it's not just the one. So that she's fought for this child to get it proper education, but there is no proper education for these children in this country. So I was like, well, let's create it then. So let's absolutely. And so I thought, well, she's not she's a mum, and she works her butt off, and she's amazing. She grows flowers. She's the most incredible, creative, beautiful lady, and so I thought, she's not she's never going to be able to write a project plan. So I wrote one for her to enable her to understand, how to understand what resources you would need and then risk mitigation and then but it's what's coming to us, but we have to create it. There's no, white knight on the horse, coming to save us. We are the knights. We are
Yeah.
the white shining knights on the horse coming to save ourselves. So it's down to us. And so she now then understands the resources, and then I've talked to other people in the area. So it's just then connecting the right people so that, that the conversation moves forward. But you're 40% more likely to actually have something occur if you physically write it down. I thought that was quite
Mm,
interesting. Yeah,
totally true.
yeah.
Yeah. And
But
blue ink is the best ink color. And
yes,
it's better in ink than it is in pencil.
yes. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Good,
Because
good,
you're
good.
making it more permanent.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And then we were talking about the stars as well, weren't we? But yeah, so the Send School is wonderful because we the children are our future as well.
Mhm.
So that is
Yeah.
and that was my favorite song when I was a child when I moved to England. And I heard this, it was a record that my friend had lent me, and I didn't dare listen to it. Anyway, but yeah, I believe the children are our future. It's such a beautiful
They
song.
are.
They really are.
Yeah.
It brings me to tears though when I listen to it. It's just because there is so much, that I've learned, and I was bullied so much at school because I didn't know English and I was black with white hair. It took 3 years for my tan to just completely dissipate. And I didn't want a tan because I was different. But it gave me so much for my life because I understood, to keep everybody inclusive, and to not have people feel left out because I understand how
Mhm.
it feels. And that's the beauty of it is when we learn these lessons that we incorporate them and we keep them because that suffering is part of our joy. And the joy of other people, and it all comes back to the life review, how we make other people feel. Um, which is so beautiful. And then we were talking about the stars just before we hit the record button. But
Yeah.
because we're kind of in this rubble environment with all this pollution, and until we understand water and until we understand how to navigate through this to recreate our world and sort out all the pollution, other things will then just naturally start to evolve in their own way.
Mhm.
And I think that is so beautiful. And currently, astrology is so we're depicting what happened in previous times as the stars move around and there's different alignments and energetically, different things occur. But eventually, because we're made of water and we are beings and the stars are beings and they are water, and we will co-create with them. I mean,
Mhm.
how magical is that? How magical
Yeah.
is that? That we're going to be
It's
co-creating with the stars.
yeah, totally magical. I mean, they're beings of light in water, shining. So of course, so our soul is like you could have a fractal that is a star right now.
Yeah.
Many people do. I bet many of the people in this audience do have a
I
piece that is a star. Yeah.
yeah, yes. So it's time for us to shine, it's time
Yeah.
for us to this is the new age. This is the moment. This is where we springboard from and get out of the rubble and help to find other people in the rubble and get everybody out. And yeah, and time to build a new earth, really. And that's what I'm so excited about. And it's the opportunities because there are so many opportunities always all around us. And it doesn't matter how you do it, it doesn't have to be a massive thing. And I'm just going, I don't know how I've landed here, but I have. And
Well, you're here for a big reason, you know,
yeah,
and everybody is in their own niche, whatever their niche is going to be.
no,
They're here for a big reason.
in
Yeah.
in English that's called a niche, and it confused the
Oh,
heck
yeah.
out of me. And
Niche.
a niche is a niche in English.
So the niche is going, whatever it is for you is
Yeah,
huge because, I mean, your niche could be to go and sit with the redwood trees and then translate what they have to say and then share it.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
maybe it's not to share it. Maybe it's just to help them process some of the things that they've gone through. Or maybe your frequency is going to become so amazing being in the redwoods that you will change that whole area just by vibrating.
wow,
So, I mean, it doesn't matter what your niche is, whatever it is, it's important and it matters.
yeah,
And don't ever feel smaller than someone else. Some voices are louder and some people are more out there, but whatever it is that you're doing, it's important.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, because if we just go to what our inner joy is, and everybody has different passions, and I think that is the wonderful thing is that it's the uniqueness of us all, and we've all been placed here, and we've all got contracts. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of contracts that we all have with different people. I had a chap come and help me in the garden, and I helped him out with a court case of his because and just to kind of structure him a little bit, but he was an absolute nightmare. So he left, but I knew that it was part of a contract that I'd had. It was obviously a contract that I'd made, and I could feel it, you know. Although he wasn't to be in my space any longer, but you know that there are many of these moments that, and it's a learning process for me because I have to understand my own boundaries and I have to be, you know, super careful. And sometimes, you know, I'm not perfect, but thank
We've
goodness I'm
all
not.
done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank goodness I'm not perfect because, you know, it is the joys of living. And I do go around with a lot of joy, and people think, you know, she's, I think somebody said it to me, gosh, you're far too happy. And I just thought, wow,
No.
what? And
Mm-mm.
yeah, it's that there's a huge difference, I think, with people that understand, you know, I understand that I have a journey here. I understand that I have a purpose here, and I know what my purpose is, and my purpose is really to help humanity and to help us evolve to the next level. And I've somehow been placed in front of these people that can help humanity and we can evolve to the next, you know, Stargate or phenomenology. Honestly, that word is
Yes.
hilarious. Phenomenology. Have you ever heard of phenomenology?
No.
No,
I
I
was like,
wrote
what
it
is
down.
that? The
I've
study of
got
phenomenon.
yeah. So the phenomenologist. So it's to heighten our sense of perception, and it's the observation or the observation of sense of perception. So everything is within us. You know
Hmm.
the Do you know, actually, it's a bit of a random one, but just before I met you, I was freezing cold at that at Mark Atwood's event, and I went
Me too.
yeah, I went back to the hotel and got a hot shower. Anyway, I was meditating afterwards, and I looked down and I opened my eyes and looked down at my hand, and I could see the galaxy in my hand. It was, you know, so it was just before I met you.
Mhm. Love that.
Isn't it? It's amazing, but everything is within us, and so we can transmute. And when somebody gives us you know, they're having a problem, then we can help them because it's now come into our vicinity to help them, and we can help them. Which is why you say, you know, sitting with the redwoods, and if they have a voice through you, how magical is that? I mean, that it makes me all teary just the thought of it. You know, that these trees would have a voice um, just to, you know, enlighten the world and bring everything together. It is the meek shall inherit the earth.
Mhm. Oh yeah. And that's what we're the crumble is the crumble of the old distorted society.
Yeah.
So that crumble is what we're going to rise from. And a lot of us are rising already. And those who are still in the process of awakening, they will rise at a different rate, but they'll have their own purpose, you know. And we're not supposed to do everything at the same time and feel pressure. Everything is in divine timing and everything will be attracted to you if you allow it instead of getting all, you know, hyper about pushing all the time. The universe is going to push us hard enough and just following along with the signs that you're given, being in flow
Mm,
and going places, you know, being willing to go, I don't know, to the like the coffee shop, even if you don't want to, but your soul is saying you need to go to the coffee shop
mm,
and you go and then you meet someone that is going to change your trajectory.
yeah.
There's so many things that, you know, we've been ignoring because we've been like in a routine. Well,
Yeah.
all those routines are going to fall away too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Interesting. Interesting. But I mean, the joy when, you know, we can help other people. because and I like that. I like the fact that yes, we're not all evolving at the same time. And there's a reason why, your audience, my audience, that they are aware. I also did so I've started doing some a tarot show with a friend of mine, Susan. And so
Fun.
we've been looking at water. We've been looking at all sorts of that. It's nothing to do with politics, but it's all the etheric kind of the weird stuff that
Uh-huh.
I've always wanted to ask questions about.
Good. Yeah.
So if you want, yeah, if you want to learn weird stuff and yeah, but it's the progression of humanity, and she's so intuitive, and it's really beautiful. Because I used to do the shows with Janine, obviously many years ago, but
Mhm.
times move on and people become busy, and it's so lovely that she's doing the show with you. I really love it, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we're a little delayed. We're going to be a little delayed, I think. But for a
yeah,
moment here in time, there's some things going on busy
yeah,
wise. Yeah.
yeah,
We're very busy in general, a lot of us.
yeah,
It's kind of shifted a bit for me. I've noticed like I'm getting more done in shorter amounts of time,
yeah,
finally, thank goodness. And
yeah.
so I'm not busy constantly every day, all day, and the creativity starts to flow more too. So
Mm.
I think that's something that's starting to shift for people. And we're not meant to work 80 hours a week, 60 hours a week, even 40 hours a week. So we're meant to kind of be in flow.
Yeah,
And I don't think anybody will work for someone outside of themselves for more than 20 hours a week, probably in the future. And it'll
interesting.
be something they want to do,
Yeah,
you know.
the
Mhm.
heart desires. I think that is it's the
Yeah.
heart coherence because it's actually it's so exaggerated at the moment, isn't it? I mean, since the three
Mhm.
eye atlas came last year, and then it swung round again. I mean, my third eye yesterday, partly today as well, was going quite quite intense. But
I've been
and
waking up with a headache every day for
oh
like three
really?
days.
Okay,
Yeah. And then it goes
interesting.
away. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what is going on up there?
There's this, I feel like there's like been a
Yeah.
sleeping spell kind of like placed upon me today because I slept for 9 hours last night, and which is unheard of. And then I've slept through the day. I've had a couple of hours at least today, which is
Mhm.
bizarre. But there is a change, there is a shift, and every so often, like the beginning of February, there was a shift, wasn't there? And the
Okay.
end of January, and then we've got the equinox coming up on the 21st of March, which is really close actually now, isn't it? It's like a week away. And that's the start of a lot of things is the equinox, and it's going to be another shift. So energetically we really honor your time, honor your rest, and be patient. I mean, there's so much theatre going on out there, and there is a lot of rubbish going on, but can you do anything about it? If you can't do anything about it, what's the point in worrying?
Yeah, don't feed it for
No.
sure
Yeah,
with, stress or worry.
I mean they
Just do the
name
things. Yeah.
sorry,
Go
interrupted.
ahead. What were you going to say?
They name storms to give them energy, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah,
Totally. There's so much theater
yeah.
going on. And someone in particular wouldn't be mentioning central casting all the time, along with other people mentioning it, if we weren't in a movie. So
Hmm.
don't get too involved with the movie. It's not really our movie
No.
to watch if you're watching this show because you've probably been awake for quite a while.
Yeah.
So just let it play out, and a lot of good things are happening, and we're here to build the foundation of the next thing. And you can't build a foundation if you're still obsessed with the crumble stuff, all the
Yeah.
old stuff,
And when
and there will be some things that go forward, but not much,
yeah.
you know.
And when we elevate our thinking and the joy, the
Mhm.
inspiration, the ideas, when they come along, that is always created in the creative kind of like the splurge of higher frequencies. And it is never in the rubble, it's never in the theatre, it's never in the news, you know. And that is literally to we've been distracted for a long time, you know, and it's
Yeah.
that's they've been very, you know, they've done really well at that.
Well, it's been the goal for eons is to distract
Yeah,
humanity from going within.
yeah, yeah.
Guess what? It's not working anymore.
And
Now
now
we're
we
actually being pushed to go within quite a bit too.
yes. Now we all
Yeah.
become phenomenologists.
Yes. Yeah. We're
Yeah.
going to know so much about what we're capable of.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
goodness.
really amazing because we're capable of so much.
Oh my goodness. Well,
It's
just
so amazing what you can do.
when I was trying, you know, so initially when I was working with the clouds and seeing, you know, if I could move the clouds, but it was more becoming a one with them. There
Mhm.
was the first time I did it, I imagined it was a spaceship coming towards me and I was kind of interacting with it. But then the second time I did it, I became part of the clouds. And then because I was moving them with the wind and they were behind the house, it was like playing Tetris. I didn't know what
Yeah.
clouds would be behind it. It was quite funny. And then there was the bath incident, which I did talk about in a previous thing, where I was meditating and literally the bath water just stopped running down it, you know, and there was a hiccup in gravity, density, whatever you want to call it. But it's, you know, we are magical beings, and it's when we work as one and we work with the joy, the humility, the graciousness, you know, the it's just loving and transmuting everything. Because when a problem comes within our vicinity, it's, you know, we can I use Ho'oponopono a lot because it's just nice and
Mhm.
simple for me. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And when we can feel it, you know, there is a transmuting. I did it for somebody because they've just had one problem after another with their car. Anyway, so I ho'oponoponoed it for a while last night, and I've clarified today that they have no more car issues. It just disappeared. You know, wow.
Well, and that's what can happen because it's an object that is driven by the person.
I
It's
love,
their creation actually. So, you know,
yeah,
it's amazing really. I mean, a lot of technology is a little glitchy lately.
yeah,
Things are glitchy because we're in another separation period, you know, where timelines are readjusting and people are figuring out where they want to be and if they want to be here. And so is the tech. We live at over 8,000 feet here. And
wow.
there's all these trees that have passed, you know, and they say it's from the beetle kill. Um, so they think it's beetles, which, yes, some of it might be beetles, but why did the
Mm,
beetles target
yeah.
a certain species of tree, you know?
Mm,
Because that species maybe wasn't supposed to go through ascension.
interesting.
Yeah.
But there's also ways in which you can create like a vortex with the soil around the bottom of the tree. And
Yeah.
it then changes. So as the water then runs down the bark and runs down through and down onto where the base of the tree is, and it changes the structure of the water as it filtrates into the ground. That can help save trees as well. So it's with our
Right.
intervention. So what's the intention behind it? You know, but
Well, I mean, this was in the forest,
mm,
so it just depends. Like it to me, you can look at it, oh, it was a beetle, and that's
mm,
a 3D version. Or you can say they didn't manage the forest correctly, which they didn't really. I mean, you shouldn't have trees like this together,
no,
basically
no,
interfering with each other all the
yeah.
time.
Mm,
But also maybe they weren't able to handle the ascension process,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of ways to look at everything. And we had a tree that we had in a fence, so it was safe from like, the deer and the all the stuff. And the rabbit got in there, went underneath and ate part of the roots and it died. So if it's meant to go, it's gonna go.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I had an event. I crashed into a deer. It jumped
Oh,
out,
yeah.
in front of my, and it's so sad. But I sat at the side of the road and I held it and I ho'oponoponoed and it looked into my eyes and I looked into its eyes and it was a beautiful moment. But that things do come to their end at some point. I mean, everything is born to die, to a certain
Right.
extent. But and it's
Well,
not, but we live forever,
mhm.
souls live forever, and there isn't that fear. I don't have a, in fact, I've had to conquer fears because we it would just hold me back. That there would just be more baggage for me to take, basically. And now I want to, and I'm so grateful because I've got chicken cover. I was telling Honey earlier, I've got chicken cover. So I've got my chuk chuks and I've got a beautiful old soul. He's only 21, looking after my chickens, and I call them chuk chuks. And it's so beautiful because he sings to the chickens, and my chickens are not normal chickens. They,
No, they're used to high frequency,
yeah,
behavior.
yeah,
Yeah.
and when I sing to, especially the cockerel, I've got a cockerel that's black, and I asked him what he wanted to be called, and he wanted to be called because every time I said the word beauty or beautiful, he'd look at me and lick his, kind of like. And I said, do you want to be called Mr. Beauty? And he looked me dead in the eye. And so I said, okay, you're going
Wow.
to be called Mr. Beauty. But he's so soulful. I mean, when he does something wrong, I tell him to go and stay. And he does. He goes into his little corner and he knows to stay there until until things have calmed down a bit. And then he can comes back. Chickens are more intelligent supposedly than dogs, but the joy in which they bring me is phenomenal because they are little mini dinosaurs. And the more love we can inject, into our world, whether it is a dog, a cat, something going sitting by a tree, overlooking the lake, swimming in the sea. In fact, and I was mentioning my friend's daughter because the only thing that really changes her whole mood is actually, she said to the school, if she gets into a state and she can't get out of it and she's all angry or whatever it is, put her in the bath. And I thought,
Mm.
interesting. Yeah, because she knows that, that seems to transmute. Now, I know that if I'm all tearful or something, or I'm all upset and I can't reset, so I'll go to sleep and I'll do the reset for 20 minutes. Or you have a shower or get in the water, which then transmutes things as well. And there are many different ways in which we can do this. But it's we can do so much more with our lives if we're just aware, if we become more observant. And when we observe, we don't have to be reactive. And it's the reactiveness that, takes us down these little rabbit holes and, gets, I get all emotional very easily. And like I was having a massage yesterday and I could feel the sadness from the lady. And
Oh.
literally just tears just came to my eyes because I feel like I'm releasing for her to a certain extent. And so I talked to her and she said, you're such a magical soul. But it's just the connection that we have. And because I was vulnerable, it allowed her to be vulnerable. And that's the beauty of everything. It's the
Mhm.
vulnerability, like a plant, so green is the heart chakra, isn't it? It's love. And I got to that just because nature is so abundant and it's all green. And that's why I thought the green color was love. And my friend was like, no, but it's the heart chakra color. And I was like, oh, I got to it in my own way. But when
Yeah.
a plant when a plant flowers, it's that's the celebration. That's nature's
Mhm.
celebration is the flower. But the flowering point, if you want to get rid of a plant, that is the most vulnerable time is when it's celebrating. And it's the same with us. So many people don't sing because they've been knocked down in their life and told that they can't sing. And that is so sad. That is so because the voice is incredible.
Mhm.
We can anyway, I'm talking and talking, sorry.
No, I totally agree. The voice. And if you think about the voice and the thoughts, those are the sounds that create in the first place because before the light codes, there's sound. Everything is created with sound. And think about what sound does to water. It makes creative cymatic shapes,
Yeah.
just like your bowls are cymatic. Um, your magnetic bowls, they're a cymatic shape.
Yes.
And what
Yes.
you see behind you is a cymatic shape. Yeah. Oh, I like how it matches the outer ring that he's got going on.
To show
But
my
yeah,
arms in
I
the way.
mean, it's like, I mean, that's what has been used for eons for healing
Yeah.
is sound and cymatics. And the light codes they're the written thing. So instead of writing on a piece of paper, the sound is writing with the light. It's creating those codes with light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can blow into a bottle and it will create that frequency. And then you can hum at the same time. I've been doing it with my oopsie daisy. I've been doing it with my bottle. Oh dear, battery's about to die.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I guess
I can
that,
plug it in. I could plug it in.
okay.
Just
Should
a
we
moment.
pause?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
excellent. Sorry about that technical are we in a retrograde still?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Big
So
time.
yeah, my batteries.
Yes.
Mine are generally running on full, but yeah, when I'm awake.
Mhm.
But yeah, so,
Yeah.
but the magnetic bowls, the cymatic structure. So there's measurements with all of this as well. So 35 millimeters from the back of every magnet to the central
Mhm.
point. Sorry, I'll do it that way. So from the
I
yeah, from
love
the
them.
yeah. So but that is, I mean, they are genius. They are so amazing, and that's
I
why the
sleep with mine and then I turn over. Like turn over on it, because I've got it on some part of my body, and then I'm flipping over and I'm like, oh, ow, what's that?
oh no,
And then I get it resituated or whatever.
yeah,
John thinks
yeah.
I'm a little crazy, but it really works.
It
It
does.
works.
It really does. No, and it does.
Yeah.
And actually sleep, because sleep has been quite, I think a lot of people's sleep has been disrupted by all the change in the planets, the shifts in
Mhm.
consciousness. I'm sure there was a Mandela effect recently because literally I'd watched this, I'd read this message. I mean, it was awful because it was inviting me to a birthday party on Saturday. And I'm sure the message said to invite others that might not might hadn't have been invited or something anyway. So I messaged somebody who this person knew that hadn't been invited and invited them along. And then I went back to the message and it didn't even say that. And I was like, oh my God, there must have been a Mandela effect. And I said, I'm really sorry. I wouldn't ordinarily do that, just invite somebody else. But anyway, but it was all fine. It's all fine anyway. And yeah. But it's like it's a birthday party and sound healing at the same time with this beautiful shamanic
Oh,
chap.
lovely.
Yeah, it's just yeah,
Yeah.
but just to be able to travel, when I've now that I've got Chuk Chuk cover is amazing. But yeah, we've been doing some.
I'm
I'm
so
actually.
excited that he's singing to the chickens.
I know. Well, it makes
So fun.
me feel so lovely because I know that they're being looked after. They're being
Mhm.
loved, and
Yeah.
that love is so beautiful. Um,
Mhm.
yeah,
They
yeah,
like him. I feel like they really like him. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they do. He's such an old soul. And I've got these cards, which are for star seeds, and so I did this.
Oh.
I did the cards for him, and he was like, "Oh, that was so beautiful." Because I think sometimes we don't necessarily honor and remember how far we've come.
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
really
all of us
have.
have come so far. It's such an amazing. The last 5 years, I feel like there's been so much growth.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
like amazing. Hmm.
And mine really started with my trauma therapy. That's where it started. And then,
Yeah,
and to prove it, my chicken, it always comes back to chickens. But
of
yeah, so
course.
once I'd done my trauma therapy, I could ground. Like before, I would have to sit and concentrate and, kind of root down to the ground or feel the ground and kind of resonate and then, do the energy stuff. But I was so blocked. I must have been so blocked by trauma.
Hmm.
And when I had the trauma therapy, it was phenomenal because I could ground instantly. And the trauma therapy lasted 3 hours, and that was it. We transmuted everything, and I could
Do a lot.
ground. Yeah, uh,
Hmm.
but we can suffer for half an hour or 30 years. You know, the choice
Yeah.
is ours. The choice is ours, and there is an accepting to life, but when I was grounding, this chicken, she's died unfortunately, but she was called A what we called her Avon because when we got her, she just cleaned herself constantly. She never stopped cleaning herself. So we thought we'll name her after a cosmetic company. She was a really old soul, but she was powerful. She was amazing, and just this. I felt the same actually recently with a ram when I was at a stone circle doing a ceremony, and the ram came. It literally came to me, and I was like, "Oh, hello, are you going to try to kill me or something?" But I'd given this ram a hug previously. I was told
Hmm.
not to do so, but I was like, "Oh no, I've already done it. Sorry." But anyway, but this ram came up to me, but he then went and sat by the wall, and I kind of kept an eye on him because I wasn't sure. But his presence, every time I looked at him, I just this kind of like real grounding. It was beautiful, quite magical. But the trauma
Yeah.
therapy really it springboarded everything for me. And then and now I've been able to what is it? Mag
Magnetize.
thank you. I don't know what was coming. Magnetify was coming to I couldn't get it out
Oh,
of my
magnify.
head. Yeah, so magnetize things to us. And to me. It's such a phenomenal journey, and I have been so blessed, with the people that I've been able to surround myself with and to meet and share because there is a real beautiful joy to this world. It's glorious. And if we go out and I used to call it following your nose, but actually it's following your soul. It really is. It's following your soul. And if we just get out and, yeah, like you say, just go to the coffee shop and go and inspire somebody, you know,
Hmm.
it's the
Yeah,
magic and wonder of this world. I could have
exactly.
burst into song just right now. That's all I want to do is sing.
Yeah, yeah. There's a couple things for the trauma that I do. One of them is called the Journey to You, and I'll put it underneath. And if you are in Step into Your Power, Ascension Mastery, the Journey to You is going to be available as part of that
Mm.
program. And what it does is release the trauma for certain things. Like if you don't feel worthy, you're going to be able to release that trauma within
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was kind of, I went through what was called the death of ego, and that was beautiful. And it's basically trauma therapy. But I did it on my own, and then I learned it and how to do it for other people.
Wow.
And then I did it for other people for a while, and it was very expensive in comparison. So I wanted to create something else that was slightly different. And this is you're doing it on your own.
Yeah.
basically. But I feel like people are capable of that at this time with a bit of guidance. We really we've come so far and we've been doing so much work that you can tap in, you know.
Yeah. I do you know,
But
I wonder if people just painted their body, as in not physically paint your body, but as in a rendition of it. Because part of my trauma therapy was literally it was coloring in my aura. So I colored the outer. So we did the inside auras first and meditated and we were saying I can't remember what we were saying at the time, but it was to transmute all the energies within each chakra first, and then there was the outer body, but then the aura of the body I colored in platinum over and over and over
mm,
and over again. So platinum was on the outside, and maybe people could but it's the intuitive, because everybody, this is what I love, is that there are so many healers, and I think we're all healers really, if we're aware of it, but everybody needs something different because everybody is different, and it's then what makes your heart sing, and what do you then go towards in order to then transmute it, to change it, to accept it.
yeah. And
There's
what
an
are you
acceptance.
attracted to?
Yeah,
Because that's
yeah,
usually, you know, um, and not told by someone else to do it.
yeah.
You need to do this. Like, just say, well, I'll check it out, but no promises, you know.
And
And
someone,
maybe that's your sign to go look at it. And maybe it's your sign that it's time to say, well, thanks for showing me that, but no, I'm not doing it. And maybe it's your moment to stand in your own sovereignty, your own power, and say no. Because a lot of people like to project
yeah,
too and say you need, when really it's something they're needing
yeah.
themselves. Yeah,
The mirror,
the mirror.
the mirror. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. It's yeah. If anyone tells you to do something like that, it's bye.
yeah, yeah.
But honey is very polite.
Well, I'm just kind of like, okay, well, but I mean, people don't tell me to do stuff very often like that. I mean, I
You
only
would
had one
you
person. Yeah, they just don't do it. But
well, you wouldn't surround yourself with people like that.
no,
No,
mm-mm.
no. So
No. But in the
it's
past, I have had many more of them, and that comes with more of the 3D type structures. Like if you still have a regular job at the moment, or if you still are doing something with a group of people that, I would, you may consider to be not like a main players, but because there's some really bossy behavior going on right now. And I think a lot of that has to do with the split happening
yeah,
and also, some crazy stuff going on. And you're like, what
mm,
happened to you? I don't know what happened to you, you know?
yeah,
And then you're realizing, okay, they're splitting off and we're probably not going to be, hanging out anymore. So that's been happening for some people too. I've been pretty lucky and not really seen a
yeah,
whole lot of that. But
yeah. I've had a big shift in things recently, which is is the more some doors close, the more doors open at the same time.
yeah,
And that's the magic of it. And it can get you down for as long as you want. And yes, there's a process. There's always a process to letting things go. But there's also the magic in other ways of doing things to open those doors. But you can't have those doors open if you become the average of the people that you surround yourself with, you know, and that's the change. But yeah,
it
there's
really is.
there's this
Mhm.
yeah, but there's magic in the air at the moment, and I think it is wonderful that that we can be the co-creators of the stars, and
Yes.
that's where we're moving to. So, that there's it's just so flipping exciting, honestly. It's just so
It's so
exciting.
exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
And
really.
be with the water, spend time with the water, and that will
Mm.
help your consciousness. If you're by the ocean, get into the ocean, even if you're just on the very edge, and you get double grounded, basically. You can stand in salt. And that's been very therapeutic for a lot of people. I shared it on my Telegram and never even did it yet. I mean, you just stand in the salt and basically you do that for 10 minutes and you feel completely different afterwards. So if it's
Yeah,
snowing where you're at, if you can't get to the earth and put your feet on it,
do the
stand in the
salt.
salt.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, minerals, so water is intelligent. It is a being.
Hmm.
Minerals
Yeah.
are also intelligent. It is a being, and we need the sunlight in our eyes to physically change and absorb. So the sunlight that physically goes into your eyes changes and has more to do with your digestion than your stomach does. So
Yeah.
the way in which we absorb our vitamins, the minerals, and they're all intelligent things in which work and help our bodies to heal itself and to physically think about, you know, how to make the end of your little finger tingle, and if you can do that, then you can liven up all the cells in your body and you can transmute it because we all have clogged cells. We live in radiation, microwaves, all these other crazy things.
Yeah.
But if we just feel into ourselves and be aware of it, it's the consciousness, it's the intention side of things, and we can just transmute it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. It really is layering right now. I wear this bracelet and I have it below, but this bracelet has 300 frequencies in it
Wow.
and it protects me from the radiation that because I'm all around it all day. And I've definitely had people, that were healers say, "Do you have EMFs around you all the time?" And I'm like, "Yep." So I definitely notice a difference, if I don't wear it or if I don't have stickers on all my electronics or, that kind of thing, like being aware of that because that allows, if you are getting a lot of EMFs, then you're not getting nutrition into the cell because it actually closes the cells down. They're like, "Oh, we don't like this," and they close down.
Yeah.
So there's just so much, but it's very simple, really. A lot of it is earth based. Just
Yeah.
being outside for part of the day is going to be huge. It's huge for
Yeah.
everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been going on walks in the forest and I've also been pampering myself, So I did have a
Oh,
massage yesterday and that was so lovely. And just I laid in the
mhm.
sunshine. I think I caught the sun a little bit actually, just from lying in the
Yeah.
sun. I fell asleep in the sunshine. It was just divine, just divine.
So good.
It is. But
So good.
the only problem with is then the third eye just goes crazy. Well, mine did
It
anyway.
does.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
They're kind of crazy right now anyway. I feel like the third eye is getting cleansed again
Interesting.
and maybe morphing a little bit.
Okay.
So we're in a very interesting time period because the brain is detoxing and getting ready to like go. It's upgrading right now, but as it detoxes, I think once it's done with that, it'll really be upgrading in
Wow.
a big way. And you have to remember the brain is what reads things. So when you see through your eyes, your brain is what processes it. All the sounds that come through your ears, your brain is processing it.
Okay.
So, and then sending that information out. But what if it was better at processing certain things,
Mm,
you know? And I think
yeah.
that's what's coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. And then yeah, there's so much we can do with intention, isn't there?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
It's
honey.
been beautiful.
Hasn't
It's
it?
been beautiful. Thank
I
you so much.
thank
Yeah.
you so much. I don't know how long we've been
Yeah.
talking for. I always lose
Oh,
track
at
of
least
time.
an hour and a half, probably.
I'm serious. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
So, no,
Yeah. But it's so
we
nice to,
love you guys. Yeah.
it's lovely to inspire and yeah, change the vibration of things. There's a lightheartedness to this world, and yeah, the love is
Yes.
everywhere if we look for it. The beauty, the abundance of the greenery and nature
Mhm.
is all around you, just waiting for you to love it back.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally is. So I'm going to put this up and I want to on a certain day, and I want to just say one more thing. If you live near Southern Colorado, I'm doing an abundance class, and I opened up to the town first, but they don't know who I am. So I really buy a lot of tickets. So if you're close by to Southern Colorado, I am doing an abundance class in person in Crestone, Colorado on the 28th of March. And it's on the website, and I'll put it below, and it's only $15. So the biggest part would probably be you driving here. And it'll be a 2 hour class, and it's a fun, interesting little town. So I think that you would have fun there. So I just want to say that because I'm ready for my audience to know about this.
Oh wow. Oh
Yeah.
wonderful. Oh, and you get to meet Honey. Wow, that's amazing.
Oh,
Goodness
it'll just be
me.
really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, glorious. And yes, and then for the magnetic bowls, if anyone's having issues with sleep or pain and things, then
Hmm.
we'll share the links. But there's the videos of how to use them and everything that I have, so to help people.
Yes.
And you can use more than one as well on your body, as long as it's like the opposite ends, because they can slam into each other, but that they are divine. Not we're
Oh,
not
yeah.
doctor. I'm not a doctor, um, and uh, and it's not for people with pacemakers. It's not generally for children either, but for people that want better sleep and less pain. And it's I've called it. It's now called a calm field bowl. So I want.
Nice.
I wanted people to feel calm, so it is a calming influence, and it is. It's
Hmm.
so wonderful for meditation and yeah, journeying with the
Yeah.
stars or whatever you do. But yeah, they're quite glorious, and yeah. So thank you. I
I
really
love it. Yeah.
appreciate your time as well, honey. And well done.
Yeah.
28th of March was that?
Yeah.
28th. Is
28th of
that
March.
2 hours? Wow.
Hmm.
Fantastic. And then
It's
all
going to
the
be
other
fun.
people, you'd meet all the other people as well in Honey's group. But
Yeah.
that the connection is so important. It's not appreciated. I know we've been talking for far too
Hmm.
long. Sorry.
So it's really fun.
We love you all. We do.
Yes, we do. Okay. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.